Oh, well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Dark Horse Comics and Nickelodeon here today, presenting a very special Avatar: The Last Airbender live reading and also Q&A panel. We have many special guests joining us to do this selection from the latest Avatar: The Last Airbender graphic novel called Toph Beifong's Metalbending Academy. So I'm Kara, I work at Dark Horse, and more importantly, let us introduce today's guest. Could we maybe start with Michaela, for obvious reasons, which you'll hear in just a moment. If you could tell folks your name, your role in the series and or the comics for our comics creators, and who you'll be playing today.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Hello, Lily Livers. My name is Michaela Murphy. Also known as Jessie Flower. You might have seen that name in the credits at some point. I had a different name when I was younger that I went by. And I will be reading, and I voiced Toph Beifong in the original series. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much, Dark Horse and Nickelodeon, for hosting all this.
Thank you. This is Rex, by the way, for those who don't know him. He will be here like all day, probably.
Feel free to have your pets join in. It's a pet day.
Michaela, what is the name of your pet?
This is Maddox, my son. He is 4 months old.
Well, how about we continue on our round robin? Maybe Jack?
Hello, I'm Jack Sena. I was the voice of Sokka. Today I will be reading Sokka, as well as all of the sound effects, and then also this one guy with a green shirt. Keep a lookout for him. It's gonna be fun. On page 23.
We do have a lot of new characters in this graphic novel, so we're excited to have all these folks joining us to give them all a voice today. Shall we continue with Jennie then?
Hey guys, I'm Jennie Kwan. I play Suki, and today I will also be playing the Dark One. So Faith and Peter, thank you for writing this comic. So happy to be here. And thanks Nickelodeon and Dark Horse.
Thank you. And we had a couple surprise additions. Super excited to also welcome Olivia and Phil. Olivia, would you like to go next?
Sure. Hi, I'm Olivia Hack. I play Tylee on Avatar. My feed is super probably pixelated and delayed, so I apologize that at some point, I might just seem like I'm not following along, but I'm here. And thank you to everybody, and I'm super excited to be here. Phil?
Hey there. I am Phil, and I am the king of the Earth Kingdom. Well, I was once a very long time ago. Today, I'm going to be playing some new characters, and unfortunately, I do not have a headband or a crown or anything fun.
I should have made one for you. I'm sorry. The timing. Should have known. I have one-nighted it to you.
Next time, everyone will appear in a Toph headband.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Including Rex. We're also very excited to be joined today by the comics creators. So let us start with Faith. Could you say hello?
Hi, I'm Faith. I write the Avatar: The Last Airbender comics, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here with the voices of some of my favorite characters and Samurai Jack. So this is an absolute career highlight for me. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks.
Yeah, Phil, your IMDb is atrociously long, by the way.
Well,
I looked at it before coming here.
Old.
Like...
Definitely was not going to say that, but so also we have, last but not least, Peter. Would you like to say hello?
Hey everyone. Yeah, I did the art in these books with Faith. So and now I'm here. I'm like going to read some location captions.
Yeah,
this is awesome. I'm thrilled. So.
Yes, thank you so much to everyone. Faith and Peter are going to be joining in the reading as well. We've got all these original voice cast members who will be reading new and old characters for you all today. Again, the book that we're looking at is Toph Beifong's Metalbending Academy. So if you've got your own copy at home, please follow along. We also have a digital excerpt available for free, which you can find at Dark Horse Digital. And I think we've got that linked in the chat. I am also going to remind folks that if you are watching live in the chat, you can also enter to win a giveaway of one copy of both today's graphic novel, Toph Beifong's Metalbending Academy, and also the previous one, which is called Katara and the Pirate Silver. If you did not know, Dark Horse has been doing official graphic novels with Nickelodeon for some time now. They're the continuation of the animated series of both Avatar and Korra, actually. So these are the latest, most recent graphic novels, but we have so many more also. You can see all of those at darkhorse.com. But again, the giveaway is now open. So if you are in the live chat on Twitch, enter the keyword once and we'll get it counted. The keyword is secret tunnel, all one word.
Yes.
All one word.
Yes, it is.
We may need to sing that later. I just want you all to
You know, yep.
So secret tunnel, all one word, all lowercase. That'll enter you in the giveaway. It is open now. We will draw a winner near the end of the stream. I have just a couple other quick things for the stream before we get into it. Reminder that the recording will be available to watch afterwards on both Twitch right away, and then later on YouTube, we'll get it closed captioned for you all. That's about it for the stream. Just remember chat rules, be excellent to each other. And if you would like to ask questions actually about the comics, about voice acting, about Avatar, like fun questions, please feel free to start dropping those in the chat too. And our moderators will be collecting them for the Q&A, which will follow the live reading of Toph Beifong's Metalbending Academy. The comic itself is, as we said, written by Faith and art by Peter, colors by Adele Matera. Shout out also to our editors, Rachel Roberts and Jenny Blank, and also Joan at Nickelodeon, who helps us on the publishing side of things. Fabulous team. You've probably seen them on stream before if you watch Dark Horse regularly, actually. Faith and Peter, would you mind giving folks just a really quick little synopsis of Toph Beifong's Metalbending Academy before we get into it?
Oh, sure. This comic takes place after the events of the Rift. So after the Rift, which was written by Jean Yang and drawn by Guru. So Toph has basically established her own Metalbending Academy, but now she's also discovering that life is perhaps not as exciting as she expected it, and her relationship with bending has changed, as things sometimes do when the thing that you love and do for fun becomes the thing that is also the thing you do for your job.
Unfortunately for Toph.
Yes.
But you might find some more excitement today.
Yes, that's her goal.
Rex is, as ever, here to support and yeah. So Toph Beifong's Metalbending Academy is available now at comic shops and bookstores, as is Katara and the Pirate Silver. One other thing I like to ask guests before we dive in, as I said, at comic shops and bookstores, do any of you have any comic shops or bookstores you would like to shout out? I know things have been a little weird during the pandemic, so we're trying to do everything we can to make sure that we support our retail partners and shop local if you can. So yeah, if anybody has any comic shops, bookstores you'd like to shout out.
I do. I got one. I'm Canadian and I used to live in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and I would just like to shout out my wonderful local comic store there, Strange Adventures. As a cartoonist, they supported me for many, many years, would always have signings, and it's just the best store. So please, if you're in the Atlantic Canadian area, visit Strange Adventures and tell them I say hi.
Perfect.
If you're in Minneapolis, there's a place called Moon Palace Books that you should definitely check out. They're really cool. They got lots of stuff and always have like events for the local community. So
wonderful.
Skylight, Los Feliz.
Nice. Yes, we have. I do not live in that area, but I have actually heard them shouted out many times. So
they're great.
Good recommendation.
Yeah, they're very nice. And of course, my home away from home is Golden Apple Comics, which is also in LA. And it's just, I've been going there for decades. And thankfully, they survived the pandemic and are still going strong.
Perfect.
Good.
If anyone else,
I was about to say, I just remember I did I think a little meet and greet with Dante at Imagine Anime in Manhattan, but I don't know if they have how many comics they have. I know they have a lot of action figures and pops, but they were great. And if you're in New York, there's bunches of places in Midtown actually. So there's lots of little things tucked away in there with great selections. I'm forgetting all of the names, but they have literally everything. It's amazing.
wonderful. Yeah, a lot of options out there. I will also mention Things from Another World, TFAW or TFA. They are running a special sale right now, actually in honor of this stream today. All Avatar and Korra graphic novels are 30% off. It's tfawtfa.com. So we'll be dropping that link in the chat as we go along today as well. But yeah, that pretty much rounds it out. Again, reminder, the giveaway is open. The giveaway is sponsored by Dark Horse, specifically, not Nickelodeon or Viacom. So, the things I have to say. But it is open, so you can win a copy of the book we're going to read and also Katara and the Pirate Silver. So without further ado, I am going to turn it over to all of our guests today to read you a selection from Toph Beifong's Metalbending Academy. Take it away, Michaela and team.
Woohoo! Sounds good, everybody. Just my headband, so I'm ready to go. All right, for those following along, I am reading from my copy of the comic as well, flipping to the first page. Are we ready, everybody?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Awesome.
Let's do it.
All right. Beifong Metalbending Academy.
Yes.
Toph.
Take your stances and metal bend.
Ha!
Ah.
Ching!
Perfect.
Oh, Sifu Toph! Sokka and Suki are at the academy entrance.
About time those two showed up.
Hello, Toph.
Finally! Took you long enough to visit.
The academy looks incredible.
Wasn't this all broken down rock tents just a few months ago? You've really upgraded this place.
Yeah. Everything is very fancy now.
That's wonderful.
With Earth and Fire Industry sponsoring the academy, I could afford to have these new facilities built. The money coming in also means I can offer metal bending training for free. And now, my students don't have to sleep on the ground.
I remember sleeping on the ground while traveling with Aang. My back still hasn't recovered.
You've accomplished so much here, Toph. It's truly amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
So, is there a reason why you're acting like things are not fine? Anything we should know?
It's nothing. Everything's great. The academy's great. The students are great. Everything's just peachy.
But
I'm bored. There's no challenge anymore. The school practically runs itself. My original metal bending students, Hotan, Penga, and the Dark One, teach the beginner classes. I have scouts that search the Earth Kingdom for more metal benders. I have assistants who make sure all the bills are paid. This place is like clockwork. I do the same thing every day. Wake up, eat, teach kids metal bending, go to bed. Sure, everything's going great. But everything going great can also be boring.
and it's a good thing we're here to shake up your routine.
Yeah? Are we going on an adventure? Some new bad guy whose head needs cracking?
Even better, we're taking you to a concert.
You're what now? What's so great about this concert anyway?
Before we met you, Katara, Aang, and I got stuck in a cave near Omashu.
Okay.
It turned out the cave was actually a secret tunnel. There was a song about it, sung by a group of wandering musicians who were also trapped in the cave that was actually a secret tunnel.
And those same musicians went on to form the most amazing band whose music is taking the Earth Kingdom by storm. And Sokka and I have tickets for us to see them tonight.
You were trapped in a cave with these people, and now you're gonna pay money to hear them sing?
It wasn't my idea. Suki's crazy for their music. I'm just trying to, be supportive. She knows all of their songs by heart.
How many songs do they have?
Too many, Toph. Too many.
We got front row tickets, Toph.
You really didn't have to.
Seeing Trustfully in Love live is a wonderful experience. I know it'll help you shake off your everyday doldrums.
I don't like this at all.
I know, buddy. I know.
Hey, I'm Chong. That's Lily, and that's Moku. And together, we're Trustfully in Love. And tonight, we want to invite all of you to trust fully in love, which is also the name of our band.
Well, this is terrible.
Okay, this is a song I wrote about a little dude that I met a long time ago. A dude with an arrow on his head. I kind of forgot the words of the song, but the chorus goes like this.
3 hours later.
Okay, I've had enough of trusting fully in love. I'm out of here.
Toph, wait, you're gonna miss the interpretive dance section.
Please don't leave me!
Sorry, you're on your own. I gotta get out of here before my head explodes. Ah, barking dog. Peace at last. What is that? It's earthbending, but not? This looks like it could be trouble. I'll go around the back.
Whoosh, whoosh.
An underground bending tournament.
2 pieces on that bender. He looks strong.
I bet on a waterbender last week. He didn't pay out.
Lie down already.
You first.
This takes me back. No academy to manage, no students to train, just me and the ring. Those were the days.
Get her, kid! Bury her, yeah! I got 5 gold pieces on you, kid. Make me rich!
Come on, Pipsqueak. I ain't got all day.
I have a name, you know.
I don't care about your name, kid.
You should care. My name's Sun. Remember it.
What is that?
Hey, you're that earthbender that's with the Avatar.
I know. You're all so excited to see Toph, the greatest earthbender in
Everybody run! The man's shutting this place down!
What? The man? I'm not the man. Hey, stop! I'm not your enemy. I just wanted to watch the fights.
The next morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Seafood Toph.
Toph.
Yeah. Let's get this weekly report over with.
Well, I've been helping the beginner students get in touch with their deeper emotions.
Great. The Dark One, you're up.
I hate teaching, so I've been avoiding my students and sending them on 10-mile hikes.
Sounds good. Penga?
Yep,
That's great. Okay, report over. See you next week.
Seafood Toph, if you don't mind me saying so, you seem a little grumpy. More so than usual, I mean.
I've been working so hard with the beginner Metalbenders. I taught them all the bending forms you taught us when we first came to the academy, and you wouldn't let me tell you about it.
I hate when Penga's emotions are the same as my own.
Is the academy in trouble, Seafood Toph? Is that why you're so upset?
No! Everything's fine. Everything's perfect. Everything's so respectable. That's the problem.
What did she mean by that?
I hate it when Sifu Toph yells at me, but I hate it even more when she's cryptic.
Is she upset because the academy is so different from how she learned bending?
Different? What would she care about that?
Sifu Toph perfected her bending skills in an underground earthbending tournament. It was a tough and difficult environment where only the strong survived. And she invented metal bending while helping the Avatar end the 100-Year War. But we get to learn metal bending at Beifong Metal Bending Academy in the lap of luxury.
The academy's hardly luxurious. I only have 2 closets for all my clothes.
And we do get yelled a lot, mostly by her.
But the academy is still a school, not a brutal bending fighting ring. It's still a place where we can learn in relative comfort. And because of the academy, we've grown so much, haven't we? Remember what we were like when we first came here?
I used to be obsessed with shoes. I couldn't go a single week without buying a brand new pair.
You're still pretty obsessed.
Not as much as I used to be. It's been a whole month since I bought a new pair.
Whatever.
At least I've changed a little. You haven't changed at all. You still hate everything.
No, I don't. Now I tolerate things rather than hate them. Like you two. I tolerate you. I don't hate you.
Oh, the dark one. That's so wonderful to hear. Thank you.
You're welcome, or whatever.
I've changed too. When I first came to the academy, I saw doom everywhere. Now I hardly see doom at all.
But why is Sifu Toph mad that we've learned bending in a different way than she did? She's the one who started this school, after all.
Wouldn't it be wonderful to prove to Sifu Toph that her academy students are just as tough and capable as she is?
We're really not, though.
You're right. We'll never be on Sifu Toph's level, but we can prove ourselves the same way she did.
This sounds scary, Hotun.
I overheard some of the new metal bending students talking about a new underground bending tournament in Yu Dao.
Underground? Like illegal?
Yes, just like the one Sifu Toph used to compete in. And we can show her how capable we are by going toe-to-toe with the other bender fighters.
Great. Now I'm the one seeing doom everywhere.
At night.
Door slowly opening.
Hey, is the bender tournament canceled?
Somebody running.
Why does everyone keep running away from me?
Rumble, rumble.
Is that a herd of saber-toothed moose lions?
Rumble, rumble.
What?
Help me! I know you. You're the tiny but powerful earthbender lady. The greatest earthbender in the world, Toph.
Toph, actually. And you're that musician, Chong, right?
I'm Chong. I wish I wasn't. Save me, oh tiny but powerful Toph. They won't leave me alone. It's too much, man.
Okay.
Shunk. Rumble, rumble.
Well, that was crazy. Are you hiding?
We're all hiding, powerful earthbender lady. Hiding from our true selves.
But you're literally hiding, not metaphorically hiding.
I'm not hiding by choice, powerful lady. You saw them. The fans. Their love is too strong. So I have to hide from their love. It feels so cruel, but it's for the best.
Okay, well, good luck with that. I gotta go.
Powerful earthbender lady. Why are you so powerful, but also so sad?
I'm not sad. That's stupid. What would I have to be sad about? People respect me so much, they run away when they see me. Kids fighting in an underground bending tournament see me as some kind of enemy, I'm gonna make the Earth Kingdom authorities magically appear and shut down everyone's fun. Don't they know I was the blind bandit? I used to be just like them. I'm proud of Beifong Metalbending Academy, but why does my life there feel so routine? Why do I feel like my bending abilities aren't being challenged? I'm not inventing new bending techniques or saving the world. I'm just teaching bender kids how to do their stances, day after day. Meanwhile, there are kids out on the streets of Udao discovering bending techniques I've never seen before. Last night, a kid did something that looked like he combined firebending and earthbending. It was amazing. That used to be me. But now I'm the bender establishment.
I get it, powerful earthbender lady. Back in the day, me, Lily, and Moku used to play our music because it was what we did, man. We were all about the love of music. But then the love became something else. Became a way to earn a living. And that can mess with the love, man. Last night, we played our music for hundreds of people in this city. It's awesome we get to touch so many hearts. But afterward, I saw this kid playing music in the street, and I wanted to be that kid. No money, no fans. All that kid had was the love of his music. Just like how it was when me, Lily, and Moku met our man Sokka. When the music you make because you love it becomes music you make because it's your job, it changes how you feel about the music, powerful earthbender lady.
Kara, back to you.
Allow me to unmute.
That was so
job.
great. Thank you so
Yay.
much. Oh, that was wonderful. Thank
Thank
so
you
much.
all. That was so fun.
It's so
Oh,
fun
it
to
was
hear
so
those
cool.
What a
voices again.
cliffhanger!
I know what happens next.
Does Toph find her love again? We need to find out.
Right. Does Toph stay the man, or does she rise above? Thank you, everyone. It's so fun to hear all those voices again. It's so great, and thank you everybody following along. We showed you as much of the comic as we could while they read along. Make sure you get your own copies. You can see what happens next. But that's all we have for today for the live reading portion. We will do a Q&A with everybody. Thank you for submitting questions in the chat. You can keep on doing that for our moderators. However, our guests, Olivia and Phil, were more recent additions, and so I'm going to let them take off. Would you like to say a farewell? And where can we find you online?
That was just super fun. That was great. I'm just at, I'm mostly on Instagram. So I'm Olivia Hack 1 on Instagram and I hang out there.
Perfect.
And I'm usually in downtown Ba Sing Se, but also on Instagram at Phil LaMarr. But
You guys are
thank you guys. Great to see you guys.
Great to
Thank
see you,
you
Phil
so
and
much.
Olivia.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 See you soon.
They're the best.
All right.
So
that
wonderful.
was so fun. There was no singing of Secret Tunnel, but like if you guys want to do that at any point.
Okay.
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 Should we close it down with?
Oh.
Should we finish? Culminate this whole
Q&A.
event with a little
Yeah,
secret.
That's
Any other
a great
questions? We
idea.
can just sing it through once and
I love it. I love that plan. All right, so that's Secret Tunnel, all one word, is the keyword for the giveaway, which is ongoing. We will draw a winner near the end, and then yeah, I think that's a great idea. We can close out with a rendition of the song. Rex is going to join in. He is here as always in my way. So, and if there are any other pet cameos that need to happen, I always encourage it, as everybody knows, dogs, cats, whatever, rabbits, chinchillas, fire ferrets, my personal favorite in the world of Avatar, Korra. Anyway, so we're going to get into the questions for the crew. Again, we have the voice talent. Thank you again so much for being here and bringing back these voices. And we have the comics creators, really exciting combination. So for the voice talent, how does it feel to play in the world of these characters again?
Always a joy. what a fun thing to step back into. Yeah, it's so fun. Just yeah, can't have such an affinity for this world and this character, and of course to get to step back into green shirt guy just made my whole week.
Never forget.
Oh my gosh. I think well, first of all, it's really cool because so many people clamored, as lots of people remember, for season 4. We want something else. And so it's great because all of these different realities can now kind of exist in this same world. Everybody gets these side stories and these moments alone, aside from just Zuko and his wonderful episode. And we get to kind of fill in the gaps. And the cool thing about it being a comic as opposed to just already kind of developed on a screen for you is that you have some visual aid, but there's still so much to fill in with your own imagination. I remember first like reading through like early Sailor Moon things, and it was great because I kind of got like what the idea was, what they were thinking of for these characters, but the sound effects, the little reactions, I got to infuse my own kind of words in a sense into the lines on the page. So it's cool because you can kind of make it your own, which is fun. So yeah, it's cool. It's great to be back.
I would echo that too. I have so many people who reach out and say, well, what happens to Suki after, or what happens with Sokka? Do they end up together, this and that? It's just fun to explore what the possibilities are. And with such great writers and animators, just the exploration of how the relationships continue or how they morph is really fun to see, and to be able to just have more of a depth of who our characters are. And it's always fun to come together and hang out. So yeah, it's always a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good point too. So obviously we've been doing these virtual events, especially since the pandemic and lockdown started. So this is a nice way to actually bring people together who are in different parts of the country or countries.
It's been amazing.
So thank you again for joining us for this virtual extravaganza today. How has everybody been doing during the pandemic? Has this changed your work system or schedules? Things getting back to normal now a little bit?
I mean, go ahead, Jack.
Life-wise, my wife and I had a child, our first child, like right at the beginning of the pandemic March 18th, she was born. So it was like the day LA went into like official shutdown. So yeah, so I don't know what to compare life to anymore. It's all different. Work-wise, I had to I built a nice studio here in my garage, and had mostly been working remotely, which is incredibly cool to be able to do because of voiceover. And then, but I just went I was fully vaccinated as of last Friday, was my 2 weeks out. And then Monday, I had my first back in a booth doing a VO thing, because they were like, wait, it was a show that wanted to do in person. So they were waiting for us to be able to. So, I guess it's happening quick for me to step back out in the world, but it's very exciting. I'm very excited.
My quarantine has been so busy. I mean, kind of similarly, I was actually really surprised. It's been so crazy that I have to schedule time off. So it's always nice to have a little break. I'm like, wow, when do I get my quarantine? I want to sit down for a minute. But I definitely have been scheduling time off. And I've been to the studio once or twice. I'm getting my second vax after a panel. So I'm like, I don't like the shot, but I have to do it. I got to follow through. No one's coming with me. So I'm a big baby. All my friends know. It's like, I'm crying. I'm like, and then it's like, boop, you're done. I'm like, what? So wish me luck, please.
FaceTime me if you need to.
I'm gonna be in your hood, Michaela. Yes, I know. I'm like, so
it'll be over so fast. And I feel like they're smaller. I don't know. There's smaller needles than they used to be. Maybe
I'm not looking. I don't care.
But they were really tiny.
I know. I'm a big baby. I am not brave there. I am not like Suki in that sense. I'm afraid of needles. Jennie is afraid of needles and blood. So
Quarantine's been kind of crazy for me. I was very much doing the kind of middle of your 20s, like living in New York, just kind of doing everything and nothing, and lots of people who are your friends for a day and you never see them again. And, you know, it all kind of just went on a hard pause. I ended up living with my boyfriend's parents in Virginia after I'd only met them once, which is always great. They like me, it's fine. Whew, that's good. Yeah, then I'm back in LA now because I was kind of like, all right, we're kind of weighing the options here. We've got live entertainment, which is a question mark, and then we've got stuff that's happening either remotely, or if you're, you know, close by, it's more helpful. So there's been a lot of moving, for sure, and, you know, art projects. So, but it's been a good year for self-reflection, that's for sure, and yeah, reconnecting with a lot of old friends and family because you have the time, kind of, but also because you're just forced to, because you're on your screens all day. So yeah, starting to get back out though. I went, you know, started going out and seeing people, fellow vaccinated humans, for like lunch, and I was like, wow, what a concept. So it's fun to start trickling back into things like that.
And Peter and Faith, so comics, we don't typically get to see each other anyway.
Yeah.
No. I mean, like that's been like the strangest thing about the pandemic is my work didn't change at all. Like I work from home. I write and draw comic books for a living. The big adjustment was my husband works in animation. He actually has worked on shows like Animaniacs and things like that. So he's now working from home. But yeah, it was like, well, I'm just going to keep on making comics, but now I have to stay indoors all the time. And I'm in Vancouver, so unfortunately Canada is very behind the US when it comes to vaccination. So I just got my first shot on Monday, so I'm very excited about that. But yeah, second shot September, we'll see. Yeah.
Hopefully they can squeeze you in sooner.
Yeah, fingers crossed. At this point, like the government's very much like cautious, I guess. So they're not over promising. I feel like they would prefer to under promise and over deliver. So we'll see. But I'm just happy to have my first shot at least. And yeah, it is a smaller needle, but oh my God, it hurts so much.
Really?
It hurts, right?
Which one did you get?
I'm sorry?
Which one did you get? I'm curious.
Oh, I got Moderna. So the Dolly Parton.
See, I got Pfizer, so I don't know. It's a slightly different comparison. My first one didn't hurt at all. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Oh, weird. Yeah, no, I'm not bad with needles at all. I get my flu shot every year, but for some reason it hurt.
Gotcha.
Oh well, worth it.
You're scaring Jennie.
You're fine, Jennie.
Oh, no.
It's all
I'm
good.
sorry,
No,
I'm
I
so
wouldn't
sorry,
be.
Jennie. I'm so sorry. It's worth it. It's worth it.
It felt like floating on a cloud. It felt like eating ice cream.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I also got Pfizer. I didn't feel anything when it happened. No.
I got Moderna and I did not feel anything there was soreness afterwards, but the actual, I thought the actual shot was very easy.
Wow. Well, I
How
don't know.
about you, Peter?
I think
Just to offer a wide variety of perspectives.
I love that everybody knows vaccines like by brand now.
I know.
How about you, Peter? How are you doing? Has your work situation changed at all, or?
No, so just to kind of so this scenes you're seeing behind me, this is basically where I've been drawing Avatar for the last year and the year before that. So not much has changed. When you're drawing comics, it's a perfect career to have during a pandemic, apparently.
Yeah,
Pretty good one. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm all vaccinated now, so I'm happy to leave this spot and go around. It's
going to be kind of I think it's going to be kind of an adjustment, actually being around people again.
Yeah.
Massive.
Dark Horse 2 has been working from home since over a year now, actually. And so it's been nice. We've been doing a lot more streaming and a lot more virtual stuff, and we get to see people like this. But probably be a bit before we go back to live in-person conventions, for example.
Yeah. I miss the con scene. I mean,
2020 was going to be my big con year. Didn't work out.
Yeah. A lot of us kind of were on that, but I had just started. I didn't really know/understand. I'd gone to a couple. I'd gone to Anime North, and then I went to San Diego Comic-Con once.
Oh, that was a good one.
2014, which is a big one. Yeah, it's a big, definitely a big one. But after that, I just didn't. And this last year, I was, so young when the show was recorded that I finally was like, oh wait, I'm an adult now. Like I can talk to these people because they're not like 21 at a bar and I'm like in middle school doing math. So I like finally reconnected with everybody, and they were like, oh yeah, like I do conventions sometimes, and there's one in LA and there's this one in Texas, and I was like, oh cool, like we can go and have like a little group, and then it just all hard stopped. So I'm actually, you said that though, I'm supposed to go to one in Texas in June. In person.
Really?
So
Summer?
it's also Texas, so
Yeah.
a little more flexible across the board there. So I'm curious to see what it will be like, and if people are going to be gung-ho for it, or if it's going to be like 50% capacity. I don't really know what the deal is, but it'll be interesting to see. I'm excited to for the hopefully positive side of that, to be like, yeah, this works.
Yeah, as things start to come back, we'll see. Dark Horse won't be at conventions in person, I think, for a bit yet, but we are starting to see more tentatively offering that starting later this year. So we'll see. We will see. We'll keep doing virtual ones in the meantime. We're going to have some virtual San Diego stuff coming up, so stay tuned for more on that front. Yeah,
Well,
lots of exciting things coming up. We have so many great questions from the chat. I am going to start pulling those. So some classic ones, and we're going to split this a little bit between the voice actors and the comics creators. But who are your favorite Avatar characters? And for the voice actors, besides your own personal character.
Okay, well, I was gonna say green shirt guy, but okay. I guess that's out. Iroh, Uncle Iroh is my favorite. I just what a guy, what a dude.
I love Ty Lee. I've stated this before. Wonderful Olivia Hack, who so happily happens to be just 4 blocks away from me for the next month or so because I'm moving. But yeah. She's just so great, and I think she's probably close to my real life self. I love trapeze and acrobatics, and I used to do gymnastics and stuff. So her fusion with like Toph's stubbornness probably is like a good mesh of who I am in real life.
Mine would be Appa. I just love that character.
Without him, we literally would not do anything. None of it would have happened without Appa.
Exactly. Or Dee Bradley, right? So, I mean, just bringing that character to life, just amazing. He's my favorite.
I'm right there with you, but it's not a question for me personally, but we stand Appa in this house.
Aw.
A good dude.
Really hard to draw though.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I guess, Faith, do you have any favorites to write, or Peter, any favorites to draw?
Oh, for writing, well, I really like Toph, and I really like Sokka. That was actually Sokka for many years when I was just a fan was my TV boyfriend.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I had a bit of a crush on him. Yeah.
I think we all did.
Hair down, Sokka, I assume, right?
Sokka is a good boyfriend. He is a good boyfriend. He cares, and he is very considerate of the feelings of, but I mean, I feel like that was one thing that I was very eager to do when I came in as a writer. It's like I feel like Jean's comics really focused more on Aang and Zuko, and then also Azula a little bit. And I felt like Sokka wasn't given as much to do, and that was something I was very interested in, especially in Imbalance, which was the trilogy Peter and I did before these standalone books. Because that was about like the rise of Bender supremacy, and Sokka is the main member of Team Avatar who is a non-Bender, besides Suki, of course. But yeah, I love Sokka, and I don't know, it's like picking a favorite child because I do really love them all.
No, Sokka's the most fun to draw, so we're just gonna agree on that, I guess.
He's a good dude.
Mhm.
Peter, can I ask what makes Appa so difficult to draw? Is it that you
Yeah.
can't remember how many legs he has?
Just too many legs. Just too many legs.
Is it
Yeah.
6? Is it 4?
Yeah.
Stripes.
It's more than you think. Just make them all work together. I don't know. I think I got there eventually, but it's a lot.
Just wait until you start getting all the little baby air bison also.
Oh gosh. 7 mini appas.
That's actually another one of a question that I like to ask people. What are some of your favorite hybrid creatures in the world of Avatar and Korra?
Turtle ducks.
Yeah, turtle ducks.
They're just so cute. I want one. I want one so badly.
Oh, I remember I remember when I was writing Imbalance, Sokka actually made a comment about a pillow that was stuffed with turtle duck feathers. And Brian Knitsko actually was like, could it not be turtle duck feathers? Because, save the turtle ducks.
Save the turtle.
Yeah, so
Put it on
that,
a banner.
I changed it because he was so concerned about the turtle ducks.
That's funny. But also that's so, that little detail right there is all you need to know that just reflects his entire character. He's like, hold on, wait. We need to be more sensitive to the lives of the turtle ducks. Let's
Yes, this is very important. And I was happy to change it, but I just thought it was funny because Sokka's such a meat eater too, as well.
Yeah, Sokka would absolutely not care about what's in a pillow.
No.
But eat a turtle duck, I feel like.
Yeah. At least at the beginning, he grows, he learns. Maybe he would get stuck in a little crevice and then meet a turtle duck and throw away all his pillows. But as a starting point, wouldn't care about that.
Ostrich horses are pretty good too, because unlike normal horses, they only have 2 legs, so they're much easier to draw.
Less to draw.
Yes.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Number of legs. Okay.
It's less legs is better when animals are concerned, I guess.
So funny.
Another question we've gotten is do you think Toph would have a pet? And if so, what kind?
Well, she has a pet. No. Sorry, I'm misremembering that comic.
I think she just have pet rocks. No.
Pet rocks for sure. Pet rocks, absolutely.
It is a thing. So
God, I love that.
She might have her little collection of rocks from around the world, and then maybe a space rock, maybe from Sokka or something. I don't know.
Yep.
But for real animals, I feel like that's tricky, unless it would be I don't know, because she doesn't technically need a service animal, but then again, she can't necessarily. I don't know. I can't tell. What does anything come to mind, writers and artists, of what goes along with what you've sketched, what you've created? What animal from this verse matches her?
I feel like she wouldn't have a pet. I don't feel like she's a pet kind of person.
I feel like her having children was already an ordeal.
Yeah.
He feels sort of spiritually linked
sometimes
to the badger moles in a way, right?
True.
But would she keep one as a pet?
It's
Part of
more
it
like a
also-
partnership.
She didn't like being held captive, so I don't think she would want to hold anything else captive. So it's kind of just like a whole. That's why she goes back to nature, right? And in Korra, she goes to be with one, circle of life situation. So yeah, you're right. She probably wouldn't have a pet.
I'm glad we solved that problem.
There you go.
I like the idea of pet rocks. So keep that in mind, everyone. I don't know.
Future comic ideas. Please continue to give them
Let those
names.
pieces go. So some other common, frequently asked questions we are getting, as expected, actually. So voice acting, both how did you get started in it in general, and how did you get your parts? And then I have a similar one for the comics creators after that, actually.
I came through live action stuff. I was doing live action Nickelodeon stuff as a 13-year-old. I was on all that for a while. And so just kind of among the auditioning, started auditioning for voiceover stuff. And Avatar was pretty early in my voice career. I had done 1 or 2 other things. I'd done a Disney movie, and so this was just an audition, just a very lucky, very cool audition that I got incredibly excited about once I understood how cool the show was, which took me a while. When I first did, I was like, this is weird. I don't know if I fully understand the show. And then I started seeing like the art and stuff. I was like, oh, this is very cool. So yeah, just a regular audition process for me on this one.
Well, I'm much older than Jack and Michaela, but I got my first job when I was, how old was I? I was 16, and it was a voiceover job. It was my first job, and it was on which is now Fox, but it was the singing voice of Audrey. They did a little spin-off of Little Shop of Horrors. So that was my very first job. And then similarly, I auditioned for Avatar just as a one-time guest spot for Suki, you know, read the sides. And then when they called me back, I went to Nickelodeon, and there you go. I just kept, the first time I went, I was like, okay, that was fun. And then it just kind of kept happening where eventually they started calling me for more episodes. And I was like, okay, great. I'll just show up. I didn't know, you know, I was just taking it episode by episode. So it was really a really great thing to be a part of.
And before I explain my thing, Jenny, every time you say that, I don't know what you're talking about. You look like you're like 28. I swear, like we look like the same age. So like, hush. What is happening? So I actually got cast as Mang first. I got started in voice acting because I went through kind of an awkward growing phase. My agent at the time said, hey, there's this new kind of youth department developing, and you know, you're not booking as many commercials because half of your teeth are out and your hair looks a little funny right now. So try this voiceover thing. And so I actually worked in Finding Nemo first, and it was just a kind of looping a bunch of kids for the baby fish in the school and the baby turtles, you know, East Australian Current. And then I just kind of, I thrived in that environment a little bit. I was a tad camera shy because if the person behind the camera was super critical or gave a lot of directions, I thought that meant they didn't like me. So I got really comfortable because I was in a booth. And so I just got to be like all wily and weird. So it kind of grew from there. It was just a normal audition for Mang in Fortune Teller in season 1 first. Very sassy, calls Katara floozy, just big, thick pigtails. And at the time, apparently, Giancarlo told me that they were already considering having Toph be female instead of male. Kind of originally, she was supposed to be like a Bolin-esque type something. And then they apparently listened to me and they were like, hey, like, you like her. Maybe we should like play with that energy for Toph. So I didn't know the two were related. I got the call, you know, for an audition, you know, later on, and I didn't realize it was part of the same show. And so I just was like, oh, there's this Toph character. My grandmother read the role of the boulder in the audition room with me because she just seemed, she was like, somebody has to read the other part. And I was like, no, you just read your own part. But who's going to read the other part? I was like, fine, read the boulder. Yeah. Yeah. And so they liked it. And then, yeah, called me in. Same thing, similar to Jenny, you know, read in Nickelodeon. And then here we are.
And history was made.
And so similarly for Peter and Faith, it's kind of a two-parter, I guess. How did you get started in comics, which is probably a much larger question, and how did you end up getting the gig with the Avatar comics?
Well, I did web comics for years and years, and never thought working on comics would be my job, especially because there weren't a lot of women making comics at the time. And so I actually trained in animation. I went to college for animation and trained in that field, and worked in Canadian animation for a few years before transitioning into doing comics at the time. But yeah, I just started making comics and putting them online. My very first comic was basically a ripoff of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you know, teenagers, supernatural hijinks, that kind of thing, and just fell in love with the medium. And eventually it was like I made enough comics that I got good enough that publishers started to notice. So I started getting jobs, and it was a very long and slightly terrifying road, never quite sure where your next job was going to come from. And then with Avatar, I had kind of gotten to know Brian and Mike a little bit just through, I made like comics about why I loved Avatar, and Brian saw them and posted them on his Tumblr. And by that point, I'd made a lot of professional comics. I worked with Dark Horse on The Adventures of Superhero Girl, and I did the prequel to the video game The Last of Us. And then I'd done this fantasy trilogy called The Nameless City, which was very inspired by Avatar. You know, these kids in a city and like this complicated political situation, and just very inspired by Avatar. So while I was working on that, I got approached by Dark Horse and asked if I was, Gene was leaving the series and was I interested in writing it. And with terror in my heart, I was like, yes, by all means. Like Gene he is a literal certified genius. He got the MacArthur Genius Grant. So, giant shoes to fill. And it was so awesome. It was a thrill to work with Brian and Mike on Imbalance, and now to work with Tim Hendrick on these standalone comics. And I couldn't ask for a better collaborator in Peter. He's been amazing to work with.
Oh, shucks.
Right back at you. I guess my path was basically going to art school for illustration, and then ending up at a graphic design gig for 7 years, until I just got an email one day saying, "Hey, do you want to do Avatar?" Basically, I'd done some webcomic stuff before that, including one called Over the Wall with a main character who looks a lot like Katara. Looking back at it, so there's still some influence from Avatar happening way early on. But I was just doing my own thing, learning how comics work, learning how to tell them, and then at some point, Dark Horse is like, "Hey, do you want to work on this show that you love?" And I said yes, and now I'm been working on this for a while. So.
Well, to both of you, again, I know we've said it a lot, but thank you, because it looks beautiful. It's so natural to read the lines, coming out of the characters' mouths. It's amazing. So thank you. For creating such cool work.
I'll say it's very fun. Yeah, it's very fun jumping back into a thing I haven't read for a while and going. There's always there's a part of me that goes like, oh, obviously, I have a similarity to Sokka. It's not so far from me that it's impossible to find, but but there is still reading it. You go like, oh, am I gonna lock in? And then it's like, oh, every word you wrote just feels exactly right. So it just immediately it's like, hey, here we are. We're back. I found it. I know what this guy sounds like.
Oh, thank you. That is so wonderful to hear.
It was honestly so cool to so you hear the characters in your head when you're drawing them, because you want to get the actions right and the the motions right, and to actually hear your voices on top of the characters was just such a cool experience. So
it really is. And thank you so much. I'm not someone that does a lot of licensed comic work. I think it's only Avatar and I think The Last of Us. Oh, I also wrote a Buffy the Vampire Slayer comic a few years ago for Dark Horse. But I don't do licensed work very often, because for me it's the idea of writing in someone else's voice is very challenging, and that's not something I'm personally drawn to as a creator. But with Avatar, it's just I don't know. I love the voice, the character. I love the voices of the characters, and thank you so much for saying that my writing comes across as authentic. That
absolutely
means
Well, that ties into another frequently asked question we're seeing from both the Twitch and YouTube audiences right now. Do you all have a favorite line, whether I guess from the series, from the animation, and or from the comics?
I totally have a favorite line from Imbalance, and it is not a line that I came up with. Brian actually suggested it, and it's Toph. She's confronting the main villain, and she says, by the authority vested in me by me, I arrest
that's
you.
That's the one. Yeah.
So funny. And that was Brian's line. So, I do not take any credit for that. I love that line. So funny. It's just so, it's the best line.
Very Toph.
Very Toph.
I'll say a thing that I'm asked to say, and that is an old favorite of mine for sure. Drink cactus juice. It'll quench you. Nothing's quenchier. It's the quenchiest.
I want it to be an ad somewhere. Can we make it a drink and sell it in Vegas?
I do want to start. I got to start bottling some agave spirit.
Mine, it's on a kind of a rotating carousel, depends on what mood I am. But it was kind of early on in her blind joke, repertoire. And so I like when they're, flying on Appa trying to find the sunken library. And, she whips up, look, there it is. That's what it'll sound like when one of you spots it. Just every time. They keep being gullible, the whole series.
And the one that people always ask me to say, and I'm sure everyone will know, I am a warrior, but I am a girl too. Across the board, everybody always asks me to say that line.
That's a good one. Oh, I also really like Sokka's. My girlfriend turned into the moon.
That's rough, buddy.
Yep, that's rough, buddy. You win.
I've been watching that go down the chat like for hours.
Oh, really?
Yep,
Rough, buddy.
always.
That's a good one. Yeah. So many good lines. What a try.
Another question that I really enjoy, this one's from Mr. Orbelman on Twitch. What do you think happened to the cabbage salesman?
He died.
Oh!
I mean, eventually. Can we not assume? Doesn't his grandson have a whole empire in Korra, right?
Cabbage Industries or something? Yeah.
Yeah. Do we think he built that up himself, or do we think
I think
it took later generations? I think he had to wait for. I think the family needed Aang and Sokka to be out of the way for a little while.
Yeah.
Once they weren't holding him back anymore.
Yeah.
Karma always comes back in this series, right? So it finally measured out in his favor. He got hit so many times up front that then it came back tenfold on the other side.
Shout out to James Say, by the way, who voiced the Cabbage Merchant in both shows, and who is just the nicest guy in the world, and has a novel that just came out. Check that out.
Oh, good for him.
Check out all kinds of other. I'm just gonna plug it.
Yeah,
all kinds of
There
other.
it is, right there.
It's so nice and so talented.
I'm gonna get people yelling at me. No, it's just his poor life, so much disaster, heaped on his head, and I just feel like I could just see that in the part of my brain that really enjoys dark humor, just like some cataclysm following him down the road that's connected to Team Avatar.
He created the tallest cabbage display ever and died in an avalanche of cabbage. We can assume.
Cabbages fell, everyone died.
Avalanche.
A cabalanche. Oh, it's definitely a cabalanche. Good job.
Not before he passed the wisdom on to the next generation of cabbage merchants. Well,
his son had to avenge the cabbages. So he didn't. That's why he harvested so many cabbages. It was like a cruel revenge plot, and that helped the business grow. But it was just because he wanted to tear cabbages out of the ground. I don't know if this is tracking. You guys are better. You don't need this. You don't need this for the comic. You don't need this.
Future standalone comic about the cabbage.
Exactly. Yes. This is the next trilogy. Watch out.
Yes.
The cabbage trilogy. The cabbage arc.
Parts 1 through 3. Well, after exploring the Cabbage Man in more depth, let us see what other questions we have got. Another fantasy question. If you had a chance to voice any other role in Avatar or Korra, who would you voice? Or for the comics folks, who would you want to write or draw? It's a tough one. We need thinking music, like Jeopardy.
I feel like if for the OG series, Azula, just because it's funny because as I've gotten older, people are like, I feel like I hear Azula. And I'm like, yes, because I'm a woman now. But I also think it would be fun to voice Asami. I think I just want some sort of tall, dark-haired, slender, because it's just such the polar opposite of this gristly, stubborn little fighter. And so I just want to kind of play opposite vibes. That would be fun.
I would like to have the voice that would have allowed me to be able to voice Ko, the face stealer. Eric Todd Nellens is incredibly rich voice. But if I couldn't change that, then I'd say Co the face stealer, and it would just sound like this. Hey, a nice face you got there, bud. What if somebody stole your face?
I don't think I'm as scared of the face stealer anymore.
No, you don't think so? Hey, watch out. Where are you going?
Oh my gosh. That was great.
Oh,
I think that just became canon. Any other favorites that you haven't gotten to write or draw yet for the comics creators, or Jenny, any others you would want to voice?
You know what? It's so funny. As I was just sitting here, I was like, I've never thought of this, but it would be fun to voice Aang. And guess why? Because my voice would never change. It'll stay that age forever. Ageless Aang, forever and ever and ever, past 100 years. That would be funny, because this is what I have, and this is what it's going to be. So it would be ageless.
Ageless
I'd like
Aang,
to try
I like
that. I'd like to try that maybe one day.
Yeah.
Why not?
For the comics, yeah, Azula, like, love to write her. And I kind of like to do like an old Toph comic. Like, I think that would be really funny.
Ooh, yeah.
She's like traveling the world and, always like getting involved with like annoying teenagers. Like she just attracts them to her wherever she goes. Like, I could just see that. Like, that'd be so funny.
I have yet to see the end of season 4 of Korra, where I know I'm in for lots of older Toph solid content. So I'm curious to see where she kind of ends, and then yes, would love to imagine her meanderings beyond.
Yeah, I feel like you could almost do like a lone wolf and cub type story with Toph, where she's just like traveling from village to village and picks up some kid, and I'd be down for that. That'd be fun.
Cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Off trainee. What about you, Peter?
Iroh. I want to do an Iroh story. Yeah. That'd be
Yeah.
really fun to draw.
He's one of my favorites too. I mean, of course, he's probably like one of everybody's favorite characters, really. But yeah, that would be fun. Be really fun to see. Let us see, what else do we have here front? Thank you everybody watching at home for all the great questions, actually. We do have a lot, so we've had frequently asked questions about how you got into comics, how you got into voice acting. Voice actors, do you have any advice for folks who are thinking about starting in voice acting?
My first piece of advice is a website. It's D. Bradley Baker's website. Go to D. Bradley Baker's website. I want to be a voice actor.com. It's so good. It's such a phenomenal resource. He's got so much excellent advice and technical spec advice and starting out advice and how to train yourself, and also good, just like, there's a lot of good like questions to be asking yourself to kind of really actually assess like what you want out of this and stuff. He's just great. He writes some fantastic stuff. You of course know him from a million things, including as Appa and Momo and Chong and a million things. So that's my biggest piece of advice, is follow his advice.
He also occasionally does some workshops that you can either participate in or just audit. And so if you're like a class person, he occasionally hops on and you can hear him in action, which is also very helpful and awesome. I also just want to toss in that for any creative, starting in a creative industry will take a second. So if it's like, oh, I've been doing this for a month, why isn't anything happening? I've been doing this for 6 months. Why isn't anything happening? It's normal. It's okay. So I will say, if you're like, I want to be a full-time voice actor, that's awesome. Also, what is the other thing you will be doing to help put food on the table? Because you just never know. So it's full-time voice actors like D, where that's literally all day, Gray, Delisle, Griffin, just like full-time. They've done so much work, and they hustle. And they are not 18 or 20 or whatever. They've been doing this for a long time. So just be patient, she says to everybody. And she's also talking to herself, because it it's just an ebb and flow thing. So it's not necessarily check and make sure you're up to par on like, cool, do I sound great? Is my sound solid? Do I have the right equipment? Am I really putting myself out there in an effective way? But then also, it just takes time. So just stay the course and keep going.
And what I'd like to add to that, along to what Michaela and Jack said, just speaking from my own experience, I didn't get back into voice acting until actually Avatar. Like when I was 16, I was doing on-camera stuff. And then when Avatar came along, I was like, oh, I really like this. Now, when I really decided to get back into it, I always tell everybody, just like what everybody's saying, but once you get into it, you're going to be doing a lot of work before you actually do work. So for example, in my case, how I was saying my quarantine has been the busiest, I can't even tell you how much work I put into my auditions, and every day. There is not a day that for me that goes by that I don't have an audition. You don't get paid for that, right? But you have to keep staying determined and tenacious with that, because it's such a small industry. I mean, as we're learning, and there are a lot of super talented people, and people want to work with gracious people who have the talent, who will show up for their job, who will show up with everything in place. Like, you have to be that prepared. And also another thing is, again, like Michaela's saying, it's so funny. You think that things happen overnight, like, oh my gosh, now I feel like I'm just getting consistent, but I put in the work and I'm exhausted, but it's worth it, if it's something you really want. And the one last thing I would also say is, people will come up to me and they say, oh, my kid can do 15,000 voices. I'm like, great. Can they do a take 35 times, and have the acting chops to be able to back that up? Because anybody can be a parrot, but if you don't have the acting background, it makes it tougher. So that's why it's also called voice acting. We can't forget about that part. That part is a very important piece, I think, as well. So just a couple little tips, realistic tips.
Would majorly echo that part of like, focus on the acting part of it, really spend a lot of time, breaking down a script and understanding what's going on in a scene and stuff, because like, yeah, you have to have both. You have to have like the technical chops and the acting. And I think for a lot of people, the first thing that draws them to the voice acting part of it is vocal stuff, because it's like, oh, I can act, so I should be an actor, or I can do crazy voices, so I should be a voice actor. But it's like, you have to really, really be able to act to be a voice actor. So just majorly echoing that from Jennie.
Excellent advice all around. Faith and Peter, I mean, I feel like a lot of that creative advice kind of applies universally too.
Yeah. I mean, I'd written and drawn over 1,000 pages of comics before I got like my first comic published. And and like I've been working, my very first book was published in 2007. And I've written and drawn over 15 graphic novels since, and it's just like, constantly working. And only now, as I'm like my 12th year working full time in comics, am I starting to feel like, oh, I can slow down a little bit and just focus on the jobs I have rather than like constantly chasing and that kind of thing. Because we're self-employed, we're all in the same position. We have to be our own promoters and our own and that kind of thing.
There's a ton of work that goes in. That's not drawing, not writing. It's
I mean, one thing I hear from people the question I get all the time from people who want to work in comics is, how do I get published? And I feel like if you want to make comics, you shouldn't wait for publishers. Like, you should be wanting to make comics and I don't know, posting them online or publishing mini comics and going to cons. Like, that's the cool thing about comics, is one person can make a comic and you don't need to wait. So don't wait for a publisher. Just dive in.
Both of us, we started off doing webcomics.
We
got the skills and got the people can see we can draw it. You can see that we have the ability to actually finish a long book.
and made a deadline, which is also
exactly. Deadlines are important.
Yes, yes, they are.
Really important.
No, it's also true though. I mean, we as a publisher get asked these kinds of questions a lot as well. You know, like how do I get started? How do I get into comics? And you heard it from all these folks. Just put yourself out there. I know that's hard, and self-promotion is kind of tough for a lot of people, but it really makes a big difference. Get yourself out there, and you'll start to get noticed and meet people and make connections, I think.
Yeah, that's super important.
Yeah. So Peter especially, but Faith as well, a lot of folks are interested in your process. Can you tell folks a little bit about what your process is like working on?
In terms of like drawing a page, or?
We've gotten some art specific questions. Yeah. I think, in terms of comics process, and we mentioned we all actually normally work independently as it is. So how can you take us through kind of how it goes, like from your scripting to thumbnails to page?
Right. Well, I'll get a script from Faith, right? So after that whole process has been revisions and stuff, then the showrunner, whoever's running that side, I'll just get like a script, and then I have to take that script, and like the first thing I'll do is I'll do these roughs, these really quick pages with the quick sketches, just so we have a visual thing to go on. And that goes through visions. Like there's a bunch of people who look at it and say, change this, work on this. In the imbalance arc, Brian would do lots of like red lines on all my art to make it look better, which was, I learned so much from that, but it was scary as heck. So it's, we do roughs first, and then it's just straight to like, I do all the pencils and inks in a pretty traditional way that comic artists would do it, except that I do it all on the computer in a program called Clip Studio. And that's about it. It's just sitting in front of the computer for a day, drawing pages, in your deadlines, and then after me, Adele would do take care of the colors, and that's a whole other process. And then there's a whole other process with it getting put into an actual book. So, yeah, a lot of stuff.
Then it comes back to art designers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hopefully that answers something. That's that's the process.
Did you for Imbalance? No, all of the books that we've done together, you've worked entirely digitally, right?
Yeah.
Like no traditional work.
No traditional stuff. They're all digital. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to recommend. It's now called Clip Studio, but back when I bought my copy of it, it was called Manga Studio. It's this really good drawing program that a lot of cartoonists use. It's actually very cheap. It's like $50 to buy it outright. So I highly recommend that program.
Yeah, at Photoshop, you have to like pay for it constantly. Yeah. Like, I don't know, more and more, just Clip Studio, Photoshop.
Yeah, definitely recommend Clip Studio. That is what I pencil when I'm drawing my own comics. That's the program that I use as well. For writing the comics, like I find that the story outline is probably the most intensive part of the process. That's the part I find the most difficult. Like when it comes to writing the script, that part is fun and engaging, and like the hard work, a lot of the hard work has been done already. But like nailing down the story and the story beats, that can be very difficult. And also I get feedback from Joan at Nickelodeon, and then also right now we're working with Tim Hendrick, who is, I guess, the Avatar guardian, who is overseeing the comics. And then once the story outline is approved, I dive into the script, and even though Peter is drawing them, I still like to do like very, very rough stick figure thumbnails, because it helps me figure out the pacing of the book. Like, I personally don't like comics that are like super chatty and have like a ton of words on every page. I feel like comics are this wonderful blend of art and writing, and you gotta, as the writer, you gotta leave room for the art to breathe. So that's something I've really tried to emphasize in my Avatar comics. And also Avatar is known for like amazing fight scenes and cool visuals. So I want to give Peter room to do that, basically. The script goes through revisions again with Joan and with Tim, and then I hand it off to Peter, and he makes it look amazing. It's a pretty involved process, but I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll just shout out my friend Todd, who's been he's been like doing kung fu for the last 12 years. So for all the fight scenes in my book, I've actually pulled in somebody to do some choreography for
Nice.
them.
Oh, very cool.
There's a
Oh,
lot
that's
of
why
work
they
that
look
goes
so
into this
good.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed on our credits page that we had like a martial arts credit, and I was like, oh, I gotta ask him about that. So there, you just answered it for me. What is
Balthazar,
this?
he's the guy who does all the choreography for the books.
Oh, that's
That's so
awesome.
cool. So that's yeah, very authentic. Also, very important question from the chat for Jack. How did you prepare for Green Shirt Guy?
So I just want to say, like, so I went to college at UCLA, and I went to a lot of sporting events. So this is what I was really kind of trying to channel. I was like, I'm a guy, I'm at an underground sporting event. Okay. But I can relate to that from when I used to go to a lot of football games. I used to go to a lot of basketball games. How would I feel if the man showed up? And then vocally, I picked up a really bad habit. I started smoking cigarettes just so I could get like a really cool gravel. I've never smoked before in my life. I have asthma. It's terrible for you. Don't do it. But I smoked for 20 years, just knowing like my voice had to get there for Green Shirt Guy. So thank you for that beautiful question.
Improv classes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I wrote it's a novella. It's not a full novel, but it is a novella. And I wrote that just for myself, just to get a little backstory, just to make sure I fully understand this guy. So it's just like 112 pages, which I don't think counts as a novel, but yeah. I will be publishing that.
Wow.
Stacey Vale has nothing on you.
Yeah,
I love it. Stay tuned. Dark Horse hopes to pick that up, but we're yeah. And as Faith and Peter mentioned, everything is very closely involved with Nickelodeon. They get this final say on pretty much everything. So great partners. We love working with them. Yeah, everything, as I mentioned before, if not clear, all of these comics that we do are official continuations of the animated series, which is pretty awesome, actually. So one more fun question, and we'll probably wrap up in a little bit here. I know everybody's super busy. Jenny's got to get a vaccine, which is not going to hurt.
It really did. Like, legit, you're good. It's fine.
No, it's fine.
So another fun question, kind of a recurring one too, frequently asked. If you were in the world of Avatar and Korra, would you be a bender? And if so, like, what kind do you think you would be? Got to think. Again, we need like thinking music.
I mean, actually, like I always like the characters in those shows don't have the power. You know, who have to kind of figure out like the way around this world where there's like people with like godlike abilities. So that's more interesting to me. Yeah.
I know that this doesn't completely exist per se. I know that there are bending styles that get stronger with like the sun and the moon, but I feel like there's like this niche where mine would like be seasonal. Like I would, but it would only be during like fall or something. And then like winter, I would have to like recoup and recharge. I feel
you're a gloom bender.
Yes, exactly. I don't know. Because I was, people ask me what element I'm tied to and if, I'd be a bender or not be a bender. And I'm like, in one sense, I kind of feel like yes. And I do think I would be some either earth or fire, maybe lava. I don't know. But then part of me also think like really kind of feels what Ty Lee, Suki, just kind of they use their wares and they're so spatially capable and just like present. And yeah, I don't know. I also dance and I'm into, so I feel like I kind of resonate with that awareness as well of not having just I can just bend the river, Yeah. So I want to be a hybrid, but that doesn't exist. So it does now.
It could.
That's now.
In the future.
Yeah.
I think so. I do. So Water Tribe, obviously Water Tribe forever, obviously Water Tribe. But I do Water Tribe. I do have an affinity for water. I was a real water baby. So I'm going to say water, but I don't think I as a person would necessarily have like the discipline of a Katara to really like hone and learn a craft. So I think I'd just be like, sort of a sloppy like cup of water bender. Like I could just like, whoa, look at it splashing a lot. Like that'd be about my level, I think.
Good. I like that.
I would have to say, I don't know if this even falls in line with any of the bending, but I feel like Suki would want to do something with the animals of the different lands. Like if she would be able to be quote unquote like a Dr. Doolittle of calling the different animals together to be able to use their powers to just use the earth in coinciding, like different things to get things done, So I think that would be really interesting, just to be able to use their powers and bounce off the resources of the land of each different area. That'd be super cool.
I just want to be an earthbender. I mean, I really haven't thought long about it or anything. I don't, it's just like, I really see the appeal of being able to chuck rocks everywhere. I just think that would be great fun.
Yeah, great fun.
Yeah, great fun.
Toph makes it look pretty cool, I'll say that.
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like I remember seeing the animation from the Blind Bandit episode for the first time when I was like a miserable person working in the animation industry and was just like, oh my God, like they animated that with their hands, I don't know. It's something that's always stuck with me. And it's like, I want to do that.
It's a great intro.
It really is. Yeah. It's one of my favorite episodes. I've seen it millions of times, literally millions.
Similarly, and perhaps a little too similar, but do you each have a particular affinity either with your own character or more with another?
Probably my own. I feel that. I feel I resonate with a lot of stuff that comes out of her mouth and probably goes on in her head. I vibe with it. I don't vibe with the coming from basically royalty in the Earth Kingdom. That part I don't necessarily resonate with, but everything else. And I feel like that's kind of a happy coincidence in one sense, but in another sense, it's not surprising because, like Jack said, there is acting and voice acting, and when you infuse your own choices, which are of course an extension of your own character and experiences, whatever, they connect with characters that, in one sense, can have some similarities to you. So, I find it kind of lucky, but then I'm also not surprised. And I'm like, yeah, totally resonate with Toph. She is, lots of things.
I would say the same for me. I'm so happy that I have had the chance to voice Suki. Just even though the show is over, I just want to say, Faith, it was so interesting that you wrote Suki and showing her kind of girly sort of girly side and into, the band and this and that, because I was like, oh, that's like me, this side of me that comes out, and that, she can be this badass and she could be, like carry her own, but at the same time, she's let down and she can go and have fun, and Sokka's there, and there's a little bit of letting loose for her, which is so fun to see. And so I would say, people ask me all the time, do you feel like you are similar to her? And I'm like, I only hope, she actually is just someone who is of service. And that's the way that I see her, to always, put out good into the world. So I hope I'm like her. But I do have to say again, that was really fun to just be the girl. That is her girl side. So I resonate with that. That was fun.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I very much feel like I infused a lot of myself into Sokka. I think there's a lot of my sort of essence and rhythms in that character as I read it on the page initially, and then as as they continued to write with me in mind, and as the character evolved and stuff, I like a lot of bad jokes. I eat a lot of meat. And then also sort of the emotional undercurrent of Sokka too, the exploring self-doubt and all of the Sokka's master stuff in season 3, him acknowledging that he doesn't feel like he belongs, and all of that. I mean, I think we can all relate to elements of that, and I certainly did as well. So I I relate to the character hard in a lot of ways. Don't love all the like misogyny at the beginning, but he grows out of it very quickly. Suki sets him straight, you know?
Yeah, it's true. It's over that.
True.
Well, for Faith and Peter, how do you feel? Do you have any particular affinities for any of the characters?
I mean, Toph, yeah. Like I was like, I really wish I'd seen this show when I was like 10, you know, like I feel like there's, I mean, still not, I feel like, you know, female characters like her who are tomboys, who are, you know, different outside the expected norm. And, you know, like it's fine and wonderful for there to be, you know, feminine and girly female characters in animation. Like, of course, that's, you know, women contain multitudes, but I know for me specifically, as someone who was a giant tomboy and like rode horses and and like was such an outdoor kid, it's like Toph would have meant so much to me. And yeah, she still resonates with me, just you know, her toughness, and but then also like you know, the emotional nature of her personality underneath that tough exterior. And like Toph, I have a crush on Sokka, so
I think we all do, Faith. I think it's just there, whether you know, whether it's not, it just happens. It's
yeah.
So funny.
Anybody for you, Peter, before we start wrapping up?
I mean, I guess for whatever reason, I've always liked her arc's is great. Yeah. I don't know. It's something about like sort of being serious character who has to like, keep everyone all together and all that. She's cool.
That's good. Yeah. It's interesting to kind of see in the fandom like who supports which characters and which ships and all that.
Oh yeah.
So.
I'm sure there's it's just
just a stream right now.
It's also very cool how like much of a research, like it feels like you know, we've had a very loyal fan base that was very large for a long time, and now there's also, it felt like a ton of new people found it in the last year because of Netflix, and I love that. So I love seeing there's like new ships that I feel like weren't getting talked about, weren't getting brought up, that people are talking about now, that I'm like, oh, that's interesting, cool. I like that reading of it. So I love seeing people reinterpreting the show and coming to the show with fresh eyes. I love it.
Yeah. That was another thing that I was going to mention too, is yes, this both Avatar and Korra on Netflix in this past year or so, like kind of in the midst of the pandemic. And so I feel like we saw like all these both new fans and longtime fans, kind of like a resurgence in the popularity. Have you all been getting a lot more like an uptick in questions or fan interactions?
Definitely fan interactions.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, like, you know, like Jack mentioned, there's new ships, there's new takes, there's frogs in my throat. There's all sorts of just kind of new takes. And like, also, I think the cool thing too is, especially in person, also, you know, online too, but when people say like, hey, Avatar really means a lot to me because, and either they had a sister who was blind, or they had, you know, a disability that they had to work through, and they felt like they could really relate to Toph's character and still come out kind of on top because of that, as opposed to having it be like oh, I'm this, but I have, you know, it became a source of like confidence and like winning. So like it's been cool because a lot more people have been sharing those. So yeah, that's been a cool.
That's
thing.
really cool.
Yeah.
Do you get recognized like by your voices?
Yeah. What do you think?
That's actually another very frequently asked question I'm seeing from the chat. Like, do you go to Starbucks and do people recognize you or ask you to do, you know, certain lines?
There's been the occasional off of the name, then the like, whoa, and that's you sound like, whoa.
Yeah.
I've never had just somebody be like, are you doing a crappy Sokka impression right now?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's not like you walk around probably doing Sokka.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Most of the time. I mean, I don't know your life, but
I'm older now, so I don't sound as much like a 12-year-old female. It's always just very interesting because either you get the people like, who are like, oh, you kind of, that's what I imagine, a 20-year-old Toph sounding like, or people be like, are you sure? Like, you don't sound like her at all. I'm like, well, that's probably a good thing. In my mind, that means I grew a little since then. But I mean, I think I can get, back to it decently.
Oh, it's there.
Yeah.
It seems like people are, as soon as I kind of go into Toph mode, people are like, oh, there it is. I'm like, yeah, she's there.
Totally.
It was pretty surreal for me actually when we were first doing some test run throughs. I was like, oh geez, like that, wow, that is Toph and that is Sokka. It's really fun to get to hear them all again. So thank you again, everybody, for doing this, for taking the time. Thank you all the fans who are watching at home today, wherever you are. I think we are going to start wrapping up. So one final question for everybody before we draw the winner in the Secret Tunnel giveaway. So can each of you tell folks where they can find you online? And also, do you have any other projects, things going on that you want to shout out? And I'll let y'all take it away, starting with whoever wants to go first.
Okay, I'm on Instagram, and it's my name, Jack DeSena, and I post once a year, so get excited. Hype up for that. I release sketch comedy stuff with my buddy Chris on YouTube. We're Chris and Jack. Check that out. Like a couple weeks ago, I started occasionally popping on to Twitch. I haven't posted about it anywhere, but I'm popping on Twitch every once in a while, and I'm like playing GeoGuessr and solving puzzles. Check that out if you want. Jack DeSena, right. Hello. Jack DeSena, hello. That's the main stuff. Dragon Prince on Netflix. We got 4 more seasons coming, so check it out. Yeah, that's the stuff. I don't know. Thank you.
We're probably going to hit you up again soon and like send you some cool stuff because Dark Horse also does a lot of Dragon Prince.
I thought that was I thought it was the same. Yeah, great. Yeah, please do mail me stuff.
Small world.
I am also on Instagram. I post more than once a year. That's probably my favorite, I guess, platform. At Michaela mostly. So yes, Michaela is my real name. Jessie Flower was a stage name that 6-year-old me came up with because I thought Jessie was the coolest name. But Michaela is my birth name. So at Michaela, Michael with an A on the end, mostly, MOSTLY. I'm also on TikTok. I'm learning. We're seeing how it goes. But all of the usernames, because I joined in like October. So I was late, considering for what the year timeline was of TikTok. So there were just no usernames. So I am at Blind Bandit BB, which is BBY. Because I was like, you know what? We got to come up with something a little bit absurd because there was nothing. I tried all versions of my name, my actual name. And then so I was like, you know what? Let's just make it Toph inspired. So yeah, Instagram and TikTok. I don't really have much to give you at this current moment. I'm writing a bunch of things and I'm hoping to pitch them. And I'm also going to go to that convention in Texas. And if that goes well, then maybe there'll be more. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, I released a short film this last year that I filmed during quarantine with a couple close buddies. And I think I have that somewhere on my profile if you want to watch. It's 13 minutes long. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. This year is a year of transition. I'm 26. I don't know what's going on, and I'm a millennial. So yeah.
Right.
Finding it. You got time.
Yeah.
And I'm on Instagram as well. I kind of do a little bit of both. Sometimes post and sometimes I go into hiding. But I'm trying to be out more. So it's Jennie, JENNIE _ Kwan, KWAN. And I'm also on TikTok. And that is Jennie Kwan Official. Somehow they had my name. I don't really understand how TikTok works, but I learned from my friends. Thank you. One of them happens to be here on our panel, but yes, thank you, Michaela. She has to guide me through, certain things. So I'm like, oh gosh. And for you anime watchers, if you're still looking for things to watch on Netflix, I do the English dub of Scissor 7. I play 13, and and then I just a new anime called High Rise Invasion came out. I play Mayuko Nisei, so that's really fun. And then just some fun stuff coming out. Can't really talk about right now, but when it does, I will let you guys know. So I will keep everybody posted as best I can.
Perfect.
Do you want to go first?
You started. I know. Okay, so I'm on Twitter far too much. At Peter_Wartman. Or you can follow me on Instagram at Peter Wartman, all one word without the underscore. I'm working on a bunch of stuff I can't talk about. That's where I'm at.
So it goes.
So
Right.
Yeah, the struggle is real. I'm at Faith Erin Hicks on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I am most active on Instagram. I post silly comics and about 10 million cat pictures a day. I really love my cat. Let's see. Oh, we have, Peter didn't mention it, but we have this amazing standalone graphic novel about Suki coming out in, is it July? July, I think, right? I am so excited for this one. It is very, very different from our previous two standalone graphic novels. It's Suki at her lowest point, her experience at the Boiling Rock prison. And
I love it.
I really
Very
hope
cool.
he likes it. And I would love to do
it
it
already.
because it's like dark and emotional. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So, and Peter knocked it out of the park. Yeah, I'm really, really excited for this one. And yeah, maybe we'll do more Avatar comics in the future. We don't know yet. But and then other than that, I have a graphic novel coming out next year that is written and drawn by me, an original work called Ride On, and it is about girls who ride horses and Star Trek.
Yay!
Wow, that is amazing.
So
Huge
please check that
respect for
out
you
in
drawing that many
2022 when we are hopefully all vaccinated.
Right. That's amazing. And yes, we had the Suki cover we were just showing a second ago, July 28th.
Yes.
It'll be out
Oh,
in the
yay.
world.
Awesome.
And hey, yeah, if everybody wants to do another one of these, we'll get the band back together. We'll see. Stay tuned.
How do you feel about crying, Jenny?
You know what? Listen, when you said she goes to her lowest point, I'm like, I'm there. I am
Excellent.
Range.
I'm ready for it. Like, it just gave me chills. I'm getting prepared as we speak.
Excellent.
She's
Yeah,
writing a
I mean, I feel like-
112-page novel about her character preparation that she will also be publishing with Jack's preparation. Yeah.
That's the next
Yeah,
trilogy.
Green Shirt Guy
Shirt Guy.
standalone graphic novel coming out. Whenever I'm done writing it, I'm trying, you guys. There's just so many it's like, how do I balance everybody's wants for this character? You know, there's a lot of fan service. It's
And
heavy fan service.
That's the one that everybody's shipping now with everyone else. Green
Yeah,
Shirt Guy.
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Green
Yep.
Uko. That's Green Shirt Guy and Zuko, of course.
Mhm. GSG, Green Shirt Guy.
Green Shirt.
Awesome.
So we have drawn a winner in the Secret Tunnel giveaway.
It
Congratulations
happened.
to, let me see. They have kind of a Momo avatar, it looks like. So that's cool.
Nice.
Name is Moreno M3E46. Hey, congrats.
Congratulations.
Hey, Marino.
That has been announced in the chat and claimed, it looks like. Thank you for doing that. We will send you a private message to get your prize sorted out. You want a copy of the graphic novel that everybody read from today, Toph Beifong's Metalbending Academy, and also Katara and the Pirate Silver. Those are the first two. They're both standalones. And then, yes, in July, we will have the third standalone starring Suki coming out. Not yet quite, but soon. Fast approaching. And that wraps us up for today. Thank you, everybody, so much for taking the time to join us and to do this live reading and to chat with me and all the fans, like really is all the fans. So thank you.
I believe there's one last thing.
And
One last thing.
we will exit. We will sign off with the classic hit, Secret Tunnel.
I'm gonna charge Michaela with leading this because I don't
Or it's gonna do it a cappella because with music is gonna be absurd.
Great.
We're all gonna start at the two lovers.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Two lovers hidden
from
from one another. A war divides their people.
And
And
the
mountain divides them apart.
Hilltops
Have to be together.
And
And so much I don't remember how this part goes, but then it goes.
secret
tunnel,
secret tunnel,
through the mountain. Secret tunnel. Remarkably in sync. Wow. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
I mean, send it, steal it, done. We're ready. Release it on Spotify.
Suki enjoyed that immensely. She just fainted with excitement.
There you go. Kingdom of Love. Lovers loving wonderful love at you.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. Again, thank you to all our guests, both comics and voice actors. Thank you to all the fans for tuning in. Thank you to Nickelodeon for partnering with Dark Horse.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you. Keep your knees high, Lily Livers.
we will sign off. Thank you and have a great rest of your day wherever you are.
Bye.
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 Bye.